All right, welcome to TNT, your weekly tech podcast, and I'm joined here by two lovely gentlemen. We have Tuna and Sam. How you going, fellas?
Lovely.
Good.
Okay.
Lovely. I decided to use a
Sure.
different kind of adjective. Usually, it's just like fucker, wankers, stuff like that. I'm
Bloat.
just kidding. Um,
That's-
I went Australian on me there for a second. Wankers.
Yeah.
Sorry for everybody
It's a
at
British
home who
thing,
doesn't know
too.
what a wanker is.
That's a British thing.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, more British than anything. But Google that one when you get home. Anyway, so welcome. So lots and lots of tech stories this week, but we're actually going to start a little bit differently. And I want to talk about something that happened really early on in the week. And, you know, as people that do a tech podcast, and you guys can probably appreciate us, you know, I like to think that we hold ourselves to a little bit of a higher standard when it comes to quality wise. Especially with the things that we say and do and the way that we interact with other people on Twitter and other social media platforms. So, you know, one of the things that I just kind of want to mention here is that early on in the week, my buddy here, Tuna, posted a photo. What device was it, Tuna? Just off the top of your head.
The device that took
What
the picture?
smartphone was?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
the Honor Magic 5 Pro. It's got a new button you click for motion, and you don't have to click anything else. You just point it at the subject, and when it senses motion, its AI will take a picture automatically. Typically in reviews, you
Right.
see people jumping or trying to slam dunk. I think that's what they use in their release video. I just had my kids jumping up in a play or
Well, actually, Tuna,
gymnasium.
you know, instead of me telling the story, why don't you set the context and then I'll explain my beef.
Okay, so I have this right here, you guys. It's the Honor Magic 5 Pro. I was really sold on this new feature that would, you know, like I just explained, would freeze time pretty much. I mean, it had some issues at first, but either way, I got an update. It seems to be working pretty good. And I went to pick my kids up from a local daycare that has a gymnasium, and I had them both jump. The first picture I didn't
Yeah.
post. Second one, my daughter jumped, and it was like perfect. I wish I don't know if I can share my screen.
Yeah, you can. Bottom. I think there's a button at the very bottom there, buddy.
Yeah, if I could find, well, yeah, let me cancel it for a second. Either way, there's a screenshot that's in Telegram. I've never shared my screen on this, so I'm not really familiar how to do it off the top of my head.
Do you want me to pull it up? I think I might have it here on Twitter. Hang on one sec.
That's fine.
See
Yeah.
if I can.
So basically, it's my daughter. She's jumping in midair, and it's frozen in time with the Honor Magic's motion. I posted on Twitter just saying, "Hey, Honor Magic 5 Pro," or hashtag Honor Magic. You know, great camera, worked well, and that was it. My daughter, who is 12 years old, decides to wear a mask every day to school. And I don't say like you'll see the picture, hopefully. Not a mask like as in a Halloween mask, but like a mask. We don't make her do it. We don't tell her to do it. And I've told her multiple times she doesn't have to do it because of fear of people bullying her and stuff like that. But she still chooses to do it because she's worried for whatever reason. So I posted this, and I don't know if you have this up on the side here. Another YouTuber.
Yeah, I think
What's his name? Red Skull, whatever.
Red Skull Pro. So
Red
for those
Skull
of
Pro.
you who may be familiar, Red Skull is a somewhat prominent, I don't want to say influencer, but that's what we will call him, who has something in the in the vicinity of about 300,000 followers, which is a lot of people, and it's a lot of people that follow you. And you know, when you have that many people listening to your point of view, your opinion, we would like to think that you take that job pretty seriously. Now, what was the comment that he made there?
And I had the picture pulled up, but I can't share it for some reason. But it says another clown. He had the clown emoji with a mask on, and he had like a face slap emoji or a face covering emoji. And all I responded back was thinking that he was kind of joking. Said, "Glad to see my daughter's a clown. Thanks." Now, take it as you will. We all know that when you type something online, whether you mean it or not, it's hard to see context because you don't hear inflection in the voice, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
At that point, he responded back, and I don't know exactly what he said. Something about you're just another parent scaring your kids, not knowing who I was. And instead of getting into a huge fight, and I probably shouldn't have done this, but I did, knowing, well, it could have gotten worse. I just deleted the whole post.
Right. Okay.
I shared it with some people, and they kind of went on with it. And it come to find out later on, I found out he had posted something about when masks were mandated, he was told to wear them, and he didn't feel it was necessary, and he got not made fun of, but embarrassed or whatever. So when he tells someone not to wear a cloth mask, he gets nailed. My biggest issue with it was you don't know the context of what's going on. You're allowed to have your opinion. I think I guarantee most people we talk to would say, why the hell are you wearing a mask? I get it. I'm not that kind of person. I don't wear a mask anymore either. But she chooses to do that, and I let her do that. You don't attack somebody without knowing, especially a 12-year-old girl. I mean, now she doesn't know this. She doesn't see this. She's not on Twitter. It's just the fact that it was my family that got attacked, and I should have kept it up there. I'm sure I would have had some people, defending me, but I just didn't want it to get really nasty because I know tech Twitter and Twitter in general can get pretty spicy. Now, Darren, you and King and some other people kind of went after him. And I think it's well deserved. I don't know. I haven't been doing that stuff in a long time, personally, me myself.
So I caught the beginning of this. So I saw the comment that Red Skull Pro here had posted, and I was dumbfounded. I mean, here's someone that, again, if you choose to wear a mask, it's your choice, right? You're allowed to do things.
It's not life or death.
Of your own volition.
Right.
Exactly. You're allowed to do things of your own volition. That's the choice that you make. That's what it's about. Now, what I had a problem with this fucking guy said was he posted a comment insinuating that your daughter was a clown, that she was basically fooling herself, I guess is a good way to put it. And, gives some bullshit context to his comment saying that, he wasn't allowed to do this when he was unvaccinated, blah, 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 blah. Fuck off. The fact of the matter is he made a comment about a post that someone, Tuna here, posted of his own child on Twitter demonstrating the capabilities of this smartphone camera. And that's the comment that some fucking tech influencer posts that has 300,000 people following him. Red Skull Pro.
No, not Red Magic.
Yes. No, Red Magic, not Red Magic. Red Skull Pro. If you're listening, fuck you. And if anybody who's listening out there, if you happen to be listening right now, go and visit his YouTube channel. Check out his Twitter account. Send him a message from the TNT Podcast. I don't care what you send him, but just let him know that what he did here was absolute horseshit. You don't go after someone else's family under any stretch of the imagination, even if it is.
The biggest issue is I was just trying to showcase a mode on a phone.
Exactly.
Actually, I'm so used to her wearing a mask when she wants to. Right now, she's at home. She's not wearing a mask. Only when she goes to school. Whatever. I don't even notice it anymore, and it's not a big deal. And I'm posting, I'm like, oh, watch out. Here, some crap's going to hit. I didn't expect any of that. Again,
it's crazy.
This guy is allowed to have his opinion. I am not taking away from that. But you just, when it comes to something as simple as a mask, I mean, let it go. I mean, he not only threw her under the bus, calling her a clown, he threw me under the bus saying I was a horrible person for scaring my kids. I only wore a mask when my boss, my employer, told me to wear a mask because they pay my bill.
Of course, yeah.
So
exactly, and I mean, look, again, if you there's no casting judgment here. The fact of the matter is, it's an ignorant comment from an ignorant person about someone else's child, and that's what really pissed me off. And I jumped to your defense, Tuna, and a lot of the guys.
I
on the
appreciate
TNT
that.
podcast
Yeah, they did.
And look, despite it being a great photograph, you don't make comments when you have influence, when you have the ability to have your opinion heard by more people than we do. You don't make comments like that, especially regarding someone's child. And that's it. So again, Red Skull Pro is the username. Go and visit him. Go and say hi from the TNT Podcast. Post a fucking, I don't know, crap emoji or I don't know, something. Just tell him that, let him know that, we're the ones that we know what he's like. And, I hopefully that kind of other people saw that and went, yeah, that's not a very endearing quality. Sam, if this was your kid, what would you do? If you received a comment like that.
Well, if I received a comment, I would probably ignore it. Red Skull is nobody to me. I don't give a shit what he thinks.
Yeah.
And just because he's an influencer, I guarantee you, go find 200 people and ask them who Red Skull Pro is. Nobody's going to know. He's on Twitter. Nobody gives a shit. And here's the thing. I went through great lengths because of kind of where I work and what I do. I kind of pretty much don't put my business in the street. and this is not to tuna. He should have every right to post whatever he feels that's appropriate.
Yeah, exactly.
This is not that.
Yeah.
I just didn't do that with and again, my daughters were 12, and this is 9 years ago, 10 years ago. So Twitter really wasn't a thing, and I didn't put my daughters out there normally, just because now everybody's got. I guess they have a feeling that they can take a shot at anybody, because I guarantee if Red Skull was standing in front of me and we were standing next to each other and my daughter was there wearing a mask, he wouldn't say anything to me because I'd blast him the fuck.
Exactly.
So, again, I don't know if this is attributed to Mike Tyson, because I always see it is in memes, but the internet has made it way too comfortable for people to sound off about shit, because we all know as men, if you get out of line, there's a physical ramification for getting out of line. Right? Yeah. There's a threat of physical violence. Like if you say something or step over that line, wherever that line is, family, religion, whatever, right? You realize that there's a chance that somebody's going to blast you in the beak. Right? Red Skull wouldn't stand in front of me and say that to my face, because I would tell Red Skull he can fuck right off, and then I would go ahead, and if he got mouthy about it or decided to step to me, I'd probably blast him in the fucking head. So again, the internet and keyboards and Twitter have made it very easy for people to sit there and make commentary about somebody and step over lines that you wouldn't do personally. Same thing with a car. Everybody's willing to flip each other off in a car and yell and scream, but I guarantee you, if you're standing next to somebody at a social gathering, you're probably not going to sit there and launch into somebody that you don't know, because it's just not a good idea, right? So, so I want to address the reason why I didn't get online, and I know Darren made comments, I know King Sober did. I don't fight any wars on Twitter. That's not how I get down. I don't do that. And so if I posted a comment and Red Skull would have made some clown comment, I would just basically block Red Skull and would have moved on that day.
And that's kind of what I did. And that's kind of what I did. I made the comment thinking he was joking. Like I said, "Oh, clown, ha ha ha." Well, and I just said that's my daughter, man. I didn't mean it to be that way at all.
Right, but if that was somebody else, like if it was Darren's child and he did that, my job is not to defend Darren. Darren's a grown adult. Tuna's a grown adult. And I don't want to enter that space. So that's why I didn't say anything, because I don't fight on Twitter. That's not how I get down. It's not anything. Now, does Red Skull have the right to say what he has to say? Sure. Does he sound like it's whatever. Make your comment, but personally, would I make the comment? No. I mean, hell, you guys know me. I'm in the chats. I barely ever talk in chats because it's just not how I operate.
Right.
I would have never made that comment because it's out of bounds. It's just out of bounds, right? If you don't like the fact that, it's like, okay, so you got mad because of the COVID mandate and projecting all that, but now you see a kid with a mask, so now you're going to take out your frustration, irritation about the mandate on a child or even on a grown adult. And here's the thing: maybe I'm an asshole, but no. Let me qualify. I'm an asshole. I don't think kids are necessarily out of bounds as opposed to grown adults. I wouldn't have made the comment about anybody wearing a mask, whether it's a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, or a 30-year-old. I don't care. You want to wear a mask because that's what you want to do, go for it.
Right.
Cloth masks are not really absolute. For me personally,
we know.
They make no sense, but it makes your daughter feel good. And here's the thing. It's one of those things where if she wants to wear a pink shirt because it's her favorite pink shirt, honey, just make sure you wash it. Don't wear the same pink shirt 15 times in a row to school because people are going to fuck with you, right? But I mean, I don't understand the comment. It's you want to take out your political or your social commentary on somebody else. I just don't agree with that, and that's not. But Twitter has become that space, right?
Yeah,
so
it has.
Realize if you put your picture out there, you're going to probably get maybe some people may agree with you and be okay with it, but you're going to get that periphery, and so. Understand if you're putting business in the street like that, which is totally fine. You may catch some shit about it, and that's
why I deleted it. That's why I kind of deleted it too. I'm thinking,
people alone.
It was like a second. My second thought was like, should I even put that picture out there? And I'm thinking, well, no, I chose to do it. Like you said, if I want to do what I want, I can. And I didn't label who it was in the picture at all. I can't just go to my daycare and say, hey, random kid, come here, I want to take a picture of you. I'd probably get arrested for it. My own kid. That's the only reason why I did it. And we were sitting there, I'm like, hey, I'm going to try this. I had it in my pocket. Either way, it is what it is. I appreciate you guys, make it, saying what you did. Again, I hate to say this. I'm like with Sam, people behind a keyboard are going to say what they want to say because they can, because you can't see them. But face to face, they probably wouldn't do it. To me, I don't want to start a big war. The way employment, I hate to say this is what the biggest issue is. We're all employed. My employer, who knows if they're monitoring my accounts? I'm not going to go into some big tirade about, all this stuff. So I just kind of deleted it. I made a few comments on other people's posts, and the guy was like definitely sour. So I just jumped out. I got out. Dan made some few things. I appreciate you guys. Everyone's allowed to have their comments on masks. I don't care if you want to wear. I almost, what's funny? I almost started this stream with a mask on, but I didn't because honestly, I threw most of mine away. And I'm not wearing a kid's mask, so
I got mine.
Sorry,
Dan. and it's sat there
Dan,
for.
Oh, Dan just joined us, and Dan, I know it's a little late at night there for you, buddy, but we were just talking about what happened earlier this week, and just basically the responsibility of people that have a lot of followers, posting kind of very ignorant comments in regards to someone else has posted their photographs, whatever. So just any final closing thoughts on kind of like what happened there with Tuna in the photo?
I think it's just like what Tuna was just saying, like you can have your opinions on masks and whatever, but the way he went about it was just straight up wrong.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Just straight up
and
wrong.
I agree with you. Yeah. Again, we'll leave it there, but I had to get that off my chest because that was something that I know, Tuna, you didn't deserve to have that, and no one should deserve to have that. But
it was a great shot. The photo.
It was a fantastic photo.
Yeah, and I don't get mad. And that group text, man, I was pissed, but I didn't want to I'm like Sam, I'm not going to go out this guy on Twitter because 300,000 followers. Who knows what other people who feel the same way as him are going to start attacking? It wasn't worth the big hassle. It really wasn't. He blocked all of us. Maybe not Sam, but he blocked most of us. So
no, he didn't block me and that's another thing too. Is what's nice is when you don't decide to jump in the fray, you don't get blocked, and you can kind of see all the.
Right.
And here's the thing. I get it, and Red Skull has moved on from you because you're clearly not. I'm a nobody, right? So it's one of those things.
We're all nobodies.
Right, I'm a nobody.
We're all nobodies.
That was clearly motivated by a political or social agenda, and it was a triggering moment for him. He was pissed off about whatever happened to him, and he decided to launch out. And unfortunately, a 12-year-old is in the crosshairs, and that's tacky and shitty, and you're not supposed to do that. But again, like I said, my thing is this: I don't differentiate between a 12-year-old and a 25-year-old, right? As I said, the only thing is the 25-year-old probably put that on themselves. Whereas probably if it's a 12-year-old, it's probably a parent that put it on there. Although I've seen a lot of 12-year-olds who have their own rocking their own accounts. They're putting their own stuff out in the streets. I'm like, here's the thing. I always tell people, it's just there's no reason to get to that commentary. And Red Skull's a piece of shit for putting it out there, and he can go fuck himself. But at the end of the day, because he's a piece of shit that I don't know and I don't know if he's British. Is he a British dude?
I don't
know. Canadian, maybe?
Well, fuck no.
Fucking no. Where's my fucking passport?
Asshole, right? Fuck that guy. So fuck Red Skull. He doesn't even deserve my characters on the screen. I ain't gonna go after that guy. I think I can eat a bag of fucking dicks. Fuck that dude.
They're all I'm gonna go. King. It's
Yeah,
honestly, I'm going to tear up my Canadian passport.
Look, I knew Darren made a post, and it was pretty bad. And people commented, King Sober, man, he just went at him
good,
nailed him to the. I mean,
you say that as if you didn't think that was going to be a thing.
Well, I told everyone not to just because I didn't think
that's going to be a thing.
I didn't want anybody to fight my own battles. I just said, don't worry about it, just let it go. But I knew it wasn't going to happen, but
no, and that's okay.
Well, you know what?
So we can all agree that basically that's out of bounds. You shouldn't make comments about anybody, regardless if they're a child or whether it's an adult.
Yeah.
If you've got some hang up about mask mandates, then you can go fucking take your shit and stuff it. But he also has the right to say that because it's his platform and he can do what he wants. And
speaking
people
of
will
masks,
judge him accordingly, basically. Speaking
of masks, do you remember when the super mask came out that Will.i.am had lights on it and had headphones built in? No. It was actually a mask and it had a filter system in it. Yeah, they actually said one.
I remember as the Razer had that kind of
Razer had one too.
Before
the Razer. It was before the Razer. I think it was called Super Mask. I have it upstairs. I only use it a handful of times. It's got HEPA filtration and magnetic wireless Bluetooth headphones, and I got it for free.
I'm saying, but even if
and I don't know where you're going today with Darren, but don't forget Dyson released that's it. That's the super mask. Mine's blue.
I wasn't
that's the same color
until I put on them.
Isn't that what the Winter Soldier wore?
No shit.
It looks like it, and I thought I was the winter.
It's definitely Winter Soldier like.
It's like Bane. It's like
Bane is the dude Jason.
I put on the mask.
Yeah, so
I actually will say, I'll actually just jump in. I actually went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and I won't give any spoilers away, but I will say it's about time Marvel made a good movie.
Oh, shit.
What do you mean? I watched Ant-Man and Wasp, Quantumania, and I fell asleep.
Fuck.
That was terrible.
It hasn't been, listen, I think we can all agree that Thor was garbage, Ant-Man was garbage, and just going through the list of like Doctor Strange 2, garbage.
Okay,
I haven't seen anything since Thor. I was just like,
which one? The last one, the last Thor? I thought it was funny, but I didn't think it was good. Like Dungeons and Dragons. Have you guys seen Dungeons and Dragons?
I got it here.
I never played it. I never played Dungeons and Dragons in my entire life. I watched the movie, and it was more of a good. It's actually really funny. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah,
I may go see it.
No, I may go see it, not Marvel, but Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not Marvel.
Yeah.
I want to go see the Super Mario Bros. My wife looking at me goes crazy.
Yes.
I'm like, what do you mean? Well, I saw the preview, because what we do is my wife and I will watch previews and we'll do this for we're gonna go see it.
Right.
And fuck it, it's a rental or fuck that, we're not watching it, right? And I was like, she's like, Super Mario Bros. I'm like, fuck yeah, 2 thumbs up. I'm totally in. She's like, really?
Yeah.
Go, dude, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Why not, right?
My daughter that wore the mask, she's a big Five Nights at Freddy's fan ever since they were like the young.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're working on that movie right now. And I guess someone leaked the trailer. I still haven't seen it yet. But my fear is it's going to be rated. She wants to watch it. I go, if it's rated R, you're not watching it. Sorry.
Well, who leaked the trailer? Google?
It could be.
No, actually, I just read an article. The guy who leaked it is actually begging Universal not to fine him or sue him. I just read it. Yeah.
Well, maybe
he's like,
you
please
put
don't.
that shit out in the street, dick face. I'd say sue him. Like, who knows you're not supposed to do that? Like, this, like,
he knew what he was doing.
I wasn't supposed to leak that. No, dick, it's not your fucking IP, asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that guy. Don't sue me. Yeah, sue him under the prison. Fuck that.
Well, speaking of leaks, so breaking news. This was just a couple of hours ago. Amazon has accidentally released the price and date of the Pixel tablet. So I'm going to give you one chance here. I know you probably clicked on the link already. Coming in at what price, Tuna?
I didn't click on the link. I'm going to say, damn, I don't know, $7.99.
I'm going to say $6.99.
Dan?
$1 million.
You've got $7.99, $6.99.
What's this for? Sorry,
for the Pixel Tab.
Oh, the Pixel Tab. I nearly did Pixel Fold price in my head.
No, we'll get to that. Hang on, we'll get back to that one shortly.
I'm gonna go $5.49.
So right now, it was released on the Amazon Japan website, and it comes out. So in yen, it was 79,800, which converts to about 592. So I'm going to call it and say it's about maybe 579. Dan, you might be right on the money
with
the
tab. With the dock or not?
It doesn't say anything about the dock, but it is rumored for a June 27 release.
Here's my problem with
release, right?
Yeah, it would be around the same time.
So you're saying this Wednesday they'll talk more about the tablet, maybe announce it for pre-orders.
Yeah.
My issue with the tablet,
$579.
my issue is if it doesn't have a dock, because it's basically going to replace your smart assistant screens. It's got the Tensor G2. By no means is it a slouch. It's a decent chipset, but the Samsung Tab S9 series is coming out, and it's going to blow it out of the water. Now, if Samsung does not have the dock, doesn't make it a smart assistant like they do. So there's a differentiation there. But I know we talked about the OnePlus Pad, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's OnePlus."
Tuna, I just want to add in. Sorry, I just read the rest of it. It is coming with the dock.
Okay, so that makes a little different proposition because it's more of a for the general public. They can snap it up, use it as their smart assistant when they're cooking, and then grab it and do some web browsing and some media consumption. For me, I'm, if you use an iPad with an M1 or a Tab Ultra with it, you can edit, you can do more than that. But the general consumer, the OnePlus Pad's a great tablet. That processor is pretty good. I'm sure it benchmarks higher than the Tensor 2, but that's where Google is going to make up, the better sales. OnePlus ain't going to touch it probably, but still, I think if the fact that it can be a consumer, they're looking at consumer forward products. So
I don't think they sell. I don't think they sell 50,000 of them.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so either.
No, fuck. No. There's not.
The problem is I have so many smart speakers already. I gotta get rid of one of them.
Well, and here's the thing. It's like, okay, you just mentioned, and I'm sorry, Darren, I didn't mean to cut right through. I apologize, sir. Let's just mention the situation you just described, right? So you're in the kitchen. You got your menu, right? You get your recipe, right? And you're working on it.
Yeah.
Who do you really watch and consume and browse? I can tell you right now, when I'm cooking, I'm focused on the cooking. I got shit on my hands, right? Sauce and this. I'm managing. I'm not browsing for shit on the internet. Like,
but
why
if you're cooking,
do you have a refrigerator? It's like, on the refrigerator, I can search the internet on my refrigerator. Who the fuck is
scanning the refrigerator? What if you want to browse Twitter?
What? No, I think what I mean. I don't mean like kitchen cooking. I mean like Google had. I think it was Google that had the feature that it would actually show the recipe on the screen and kind of walk you through it as you were doing it, and it'd be hands free. I'm not saying you're watching Netflix.
Well, saying, but still, it's like But what I mean is you can do that with any existing tablet. Like, again, this is a crowded space.
I get it. Yeah.
YouTube videos.
Again, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Sure, if you want to go drop $5.99 or $5.49 or $5.79 on it, go for it. But there's not a chance in hell that most people who are using a tablet, if they're Android people, they're not using a tablet, and if they're smart, they'll buy an iPad.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. I mean, I have a lot of people who are Android folks, but when it comes to pads, or when it comes to tablets, they're all iPad people. Same with the watch.
It's all iPad.
They're not leveraging a Pixel watch or whatever. They're leveraging, an iPhone or whatever. I mean, I don't think it's a bad product. I think let's bring it out to market, but I just don't think it's going to move a lot of units, especially the first.
You know what's going to move a lot of units? Branch. Apple's going to do the same thing, and they're going to push a lot of units because they're working on one already. That's what they said. That's the rumor.
Yeah, but I mean, again, like I told you before, Apple doesn't even have to put a marketing campaign. They say, "Hey, we're having the Pad 1 Mini Pro Max, whatever. I don't give a shit what you call it."
Yeah,
they will sell literally millions of them.
Yeah,
I say,
so
they do a iPad Mini Pro. It's fucking game over.
I've seen the iPad Minis. I've heard people that talk about it. This thing is awesome.
Yeah,
is the iPad Mini? What's it have? The A16?
It's last year's processor, the 17, 16. I don't.
But even the A15 is a pretty solid chipset, right?
You don't need more than that. No.
It clearly benchmarks above anything that they're probably.
I had the Mini, but my freaking phone was about the same damn size. I mean, it's not that. I mean, it's bigger, but not that much bigger. Yeah. To me, it wasn't worth the proposition. And I've had iPads, and if you're Android and you want a tablet, you're going to go Samsung. I mean, they're more well known in the Android side, I should say, than anybody else. Like the OnePlus Pad is a great device, but no one gives a crap. Like Sam has said multiple times, who the hell is OnePlus? We know who they are, but no one else does. I told my partner, I go, look at this Honor. Google? I go, look at this Honor phone. He goes, who the hell is Honor? He goes,
the funny thing is, my wife sent me, I guess it was a snippet of like a 2-paragraph response about somebody talking about, hey, I've heard about this company called Plus One. You should check them out. I'm like, they didn't even have the company name. I was just like, I read this entire article with somebody, I guess, posting like an AT&T or like a Verizon chat site. And they were just plus one. I'm like, it's not even the name of the company. Oh, holy Christ almighty God, just kill me, please. Just please. Somebody please kill me. Because it's like you don't even have the product correct. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. God love them. They tried. I mean, they were the good college try. They tried. Plus One. We heard about this. I heard it's Chinese, though, so it's probably got spyware and Chinese Communist Party shit on. It's like, I don't have enough energy for you humans.
Oh, no, I know. So one thing I just want to just add here. So I was looking at the article here, which is very interesting. So there's going to be 2 colors of the Pixel Tab. So it looks like it's coming in porcelain, which I'm imagining is white.
That's probably
and hazel. Now, from what I can see in the image here, the hazel looks like it's a black bezel, I guess hazel color back. From what I can see, it's a bit. The images aren't great.
What would you call hazel though? It's like a
green
tan.
Yeah,
the 7 Pro's hazel, isn't it?
7 Pro's hazel. It's like a greenish color, isn't it?
Like a green and gold, maybe. I'm just again, not great images, but
okay.
Yeah, just kind of curious. I mean, I know we're all guessing kind of what we thought the price was going to come.
Darren, you better be begging Google not to sue you for posting that or talking about it. All right.
Well, I'm not. That's why I'm not putting it up on screen. I don't want to piss anybody off. Listen, I'm just.
This was a link. Being a little basic bitch. Oh god.
No, this was This was a Phone Arena. Phone Arena is the leak.
That's They're going down.
So
They're going down.
Me. It's these sons of bitches. So go ahead, bro.
That's it. Look at that. It's on there.
Bus. I'm shoving you right.
Fuck that. Yeah. I don't want anything to do with that after the last thing. All right. Speaking, we'll stay on Google for just a second because another big release. I guess reveal is probably a better way to put it. On the 4th of May, which is known universally around the world, I guess now as Star Wars Day. Google released a tweet. May the Fold be with you, and they've basically announced, or rather confirmed, that it's real. It's coming. Now, again, I know we talked a little bit about this last week, just about our thoughts and feelings, but. So basically this is confirmed information that it is absolutely going to be brought up at I.O., which I believe is this week. What day is it? The 10th, right?
Wednesday. Yep.
Something like that.
Wednesday. So, I mean, just looking at this article, this is from Engadget, but, just kind of giving us an idea of a little bit more information, I guess, that they've found out. Now, rumors are suggesting around the $1,700 mark, 24-hour battery life, 7.6-inch display.
24-hour battery. 24-hour battery life. Come on.
Well, that's okay. Look, that's Google's bullshit marketing terms.
That's everyone's marketing term.
They said something similar for like Pixels, just to start with, like 2-day battery life or something.
Everything lasts a couple days if you don't use it a lot.
Extreme battery saving.
My favorite Google marketing was actually with the Pixel 7 Pro. And they said 24-hour battery life, but in extreme battery saver mode, which nobody uses, you get like 3 days, which I just love, right? Because that just goes to show you that someone out there is going to go 3 days battery, amazing. Let's go buy it right now. Yes, amazing.
Jesus.
So. I know we covered this a lot, and I don't want to kind of hound a bit of a dead dog here, but
I got a few things to say.
There's a big problem, though. One big problem.
What's that?
The bezels. It's just the bezels.
Well, here's my thing.
It?
So I talked about the bezels before. I don't. And my thing is, okay, so I wasn't really interested in this thing at all, just because it looks like a tablet and it's $1,800. Okay, I get it's a folding phone. But now that they officially leaked the images, I'm actually kind of interested. And I don't know why. I think it's the aspect ratio when it's unfolded. I hate to say this. I'd rather have a Surface Duo 3, but that's a whole different thing because I've heard Microsoft's abandoning everything now and they're shutting down shop. But either way, bezels don't bother me because like the N2 Flip, they have bezels too, and they're supposed to be more probably for where your hands go and more for protection of the screen. I don't bother me as much. Here's the other issue I have, and someone posted this on Twitter. Would you pick the Samsung Fold 5 or this? And my thing is, Samsung on their 5th generation. Their 5th generation. They know the kinks that need to be worked out. And yes, they're going to have issues, but they're getting better every year, whether it's humongous upgrades or not. This is their first device. Unless they went to Oppo and said, hey, give us your blueprints, we're just going to slap our shit on it. I hide that they did because they are really close to Samsung. But it looks like an Oppo device with the bar on the back, which is typical for Pixel devices. So now I'm kind of interested, but I'm like more on the fence than I was before.
I think I said, what it might have been last week, I think I said, if it looks like a Pixel 6a, two of them glued together, I'm in. And this is exactly what that looks like. It looks like a Pixel 6a, two of them glued together.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah. And I mean, what might be interesting, I think I'm more curious about what they've done with the hinge. Because I know it took Samsung, a lot of time to get that hinge kind of okay. But Google, looking at the images here, and this is just kind of promotional imagery, but it looks like it folds flat. Which would be a very interesting proposition because from what we're hearing from the Samsung Fold 5 is that its design's not changing. So is there going to be a reality where the Pixel Fold has a better hinge than the Fold 5?
No. This is marketing.
I've heard the Fold 5. I've heard the Fold 5 hinge is going to be new.
But how many times have we had marketing issues?
Yeah.
Remember the Pixel Watch, the first marketing pictures, how big the screen was, and we thought there was a huge bezel. So this is marketing. So it's not going to be 100%. Those bezels could be a lot bigger or
they could be
smaller.
Yeah.
But you need to have bezels on a tablet. So I'm not too concerned about that.
I agree. Yeah.
But I do think for the first device, and they're not going to sell a whole lot. That's why they're expensive. It's like when the Duo first came out, it was outrageous. People are like, hell no. But there's a reason. They put a lot of marketing into it. And within, 6 months to a year, those updates really got it going. And the Duo was a really good device. This one, I don't know. Google tends to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, and whatever doesn't stick, they cancel. So it's up, you remember the Clips camera?
Yes.
They made that disappeared, didn't it? I had that thing and it was terrible. It took a bunch of pictures, but they weren't that great. So I think we'll see what happens. I mean, is folding the future? I don't know yet. I mean, yes, it is. How they fold.
I'm going to show you something on why bezels matter.
Here we go.
Here's a Duo. OG Duo, right?
They have bezels, yes.
Let me show you why. Duo. How do I hold Duo? Like this.
That's exactly how I held mine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at where my thumb is. There's no engagement to the screen.
The whole
fucking
point.
Morons. Everybody who's complaining about this bezel shit is one, a slab phone user, never owned a foldable, never owned a Duo, and don't understand shit.
Exactly.
And again, I'm not going to listen to anybody who's talking about a device they've never owned.
Right.
Yes.
It's like listening to somebody talking about, I have a Mustang. Well, Mustangs are shit. Have you ever driven one? No.
Yeah.
I've seen them on the street. They might be for you because if you have a bunch of kids or you want to drive in the fucking snow or whatever, that's fine. But I'm not going to listen to you tell me that just because the Mustang's rear-wheel drive has a manual transmission and has shit in the snow, that it's not usable for other people's workflow or transportation needs. The Duo, I can tell you right now, when I use my Duo, and I've used one for the entire time, this is the original Duo, I've had an OG Duo. Bezels help with how you work the device.
Yeah.
And if you want a bezel device, then get something else. But just sit there and complain about it. It's like, this is running an 855. I've never had an issue with the processor.
No, it's
been the software, which, by the way, Microsoft had to change at the 11th hour from 10X. There are companies who've had Android for 10 years and can't get it right.
Right.
Microsoft had to change and take an AOSP ROM and try to make custom code that didn't exist on Android 11 to try to build it into usable for two screens to make Android understand what it is. And of course, it was garbage. But they tried to code it. And they at least put out something to market. I'm not saying this
They did a fantastic job. Over time, that thing's a great device now. I mean, it's not perfect.
Yeah. And what you're going to find out is Duo 3 is going to be canceled because they're not going to get in that market. And then Microsoft's going to get out of the mobile space again because as Microsoft moves, and it sucks. But it's one of those things where I don't want to hear about the bezels because it does have a functional reason why they design it that way. And there are. I'm okay with it.
Dan, go.
I was just going to say, like, the Pixel Fold's probably going to be the closest thing to a Duo 3 you're going to get.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think so too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And you know what? I'll just say, Sam, I know you talked about the bezels. I actually think bigger bezels are good because they can hide the fucking camera in there. Mm-hmm. And for instead of that bullshit under display camera that the Fold 4 has, which is fucking hot trash, fucking hide it in the bezel. I don't care.
Proof of concept. That's what it is. But for a consumer-driven product, you don't want to do proof of concept. That's what Apple's going to do. They're going to perfect it, and everyone's going to laugh at us. So
no, I guess I'm okay with the under the screen. I'm okay with it because you're never going to get it perfected until it's in the hands of the public, into the consumer. Like look at iOS, right? They always talk. And here's the thing: I work in software development. I'm telling you, you can do betas, you can do QA development, you can smoke it, you can do regression, you can do whatever you want. I'm telling you, you don't really understand how software, when it gets deployed in the production environment, how it's going to work with the masses, because everybody's using its different devices, different engagement, different types of use. And you have people that are going to do different things with your software that your smoke tests aren't going to cover.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not going to happen. And then the problem is when you work in software development, you'll find that you're going to have people that go, hey, we still run into defects all the time on the software that I work on. And we've been running that software for 15 years. I've seen the source code. And it's not supposed to respond that way. But people say, hey, I can replicate it and go, okay.
Well, here's the problem.
It's a defect.
We're all here. We're relatively of age, I should say. I used to actually, write papers or type papers. And if you don't edit it, they always say give it to someone else. Because when you're writing it, you're going to, even if you reread it,
make mistakes.
You're filling in the blanks automatically. So it's just like this. Samsung can test this device till they're blue in the face. You're going to get that one person out there who's looking to find a problem, and they're going to find it. So Apple's not impervious to issues. No one is. I just think it's the new Samsung Fold 4, the under display camera is much better, I would say. And I'll tell you that Red Magic that I had, the 8, it was terrible, but it was one of those things where you remember how Google used to, you take a picture and it was real like pixelated, then it would process and it would pop. Red Magic had something with that with the under display, and actually after the AI kicked in, it didn't look bad at all. It was actually really impressive. So I think it's one of those things where if we want to move forward with something like that, we just chat GPT.
But look where we're on. We're on iOS 16. That's 16 iterations of the same essential basic source code. And iOS still runs into problems when they launch a new OS. They've got to do 11th hour patching, zero exploits, right? Because they get it out to the public and public starts messing with it. Then you got people stress testing it. You got people looking for penetration tests. They're trying to fuck with it and break it. And they tell Apple, hey, we found this vulnerability. We found this issue. We found this bug.
Yeah.
And it's the 16th iteration of the same essential source code.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what it is, right? It's software. It's not going to be perfect. And I will tell you, I mean, this is the first generation hardware, but it's not the first generation software because they have 12L. And I guarantee you, the code base for 12L is going to be deployed to the Pixel at 13 and 14, and they will continue to develop it.
Yeah.
And you're just going to have to understand, to compare it to a first-generation foldable is not the case. It's Google software with hardware that they didn't build. That's a Samsung screen. And it's
Google Play Edition.
Right.
Exactly what it is.
And the Google Play Edition is great, but it was for other OEMs, not their reference hardware.
Yes. That's what the problem
it wasn't for Google's hardware. It was for other OEMs like Samsung and HTC and everybody else to deploy.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, Sam, Mr. Mobile posted a video this week talking about how these brands like Nokia and all these ones, how they outsource the production. So it might be Nokia branded, but it's actually not made by a company like by the executives at Nokia. It's made by HMD Global, which owns a whole bunch of other things. And then he talked about a bunch of brands, and it was a very interesting video. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. But I think Google, with this particular hardware, I think really it's more of a test of, as Sam said, can we use our software on a foldable device, and what can we do to tweak the experience so that when they do get their hardware right, it will be good. And I don't know. If anyone, I always say it's the company that has the most R&D budget that's going to win the foldable race. And, it's going to be Apple. It's going to be Samsung. Google's got to try, and I think they make a good, maybe third option. But again, Apple's not there yet. They hopefully will be at some point. And like Sam said, once they make it, and Tuna, you said this too, it is over because they're going to claim that they invented the folding device.
You're missing one thing, Darren. Apple is a hardware and software company.
Correct.
Samsung is a hardware company. They do some software stuff, but they're mainly using Android. And Google is a software company. So Apple's got the market where they can. That's why their products supposedly. I'm not going to say they do work perfectly because no phone does, but as opposed to maybe Huawei's the next company because they're making their Harmony OS on theirs. In the Western market, or not Western, but not us, but. I don't know. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that post about Honors calling out iOS, saying we're going to make the next? What?
Yeah, on a fucking
The
honors from the balcony, man.
They are, man.
And like I said, I will tell you, and as much as I hate to say it, but if Apple releases a foldable iPhone, that might be probably what's going to get me to switch.
Yeah.
No,
because you know
no, absolutely. Because I'm telling
Sam,
you,
if you ever switch, can I bring a pitchfork and some things and say we're coming after you? No, I'm
sure,
just kidding.
you can come, and I guarantee you better bring I have an elevated position, weapons training, and a lot of ammunition. So if you're coming for me, you better bring a lot of shit.
A couple of those things. So
right. So what I'm saying though is, I mean, but I think that's really where I think you'll really understand that foldables will transition from a more of a niche market, really to the mainstream. And I think I think Apple, and here's the thing, and as much as you want to, people want to complain about it, Apple really becomes the mobile tech good housekeeping seal of approval. It's really
100%.
Yeah. Once they decide that is something they want to move to, and I'm telling you, and I've told you this at the beginning, and maybe I'm wrong, and it's very possible. But if iOS decides that iOS 15 has the iFold, whatever it is, right?
Yeah,
let's next year, or let's say it's in
God, I hope not. That's not what it's called.
They will sell more units in one calendar year than every foldable ever sold in the last 3 years for every Android OEM that exists.
Day.
It won't take a year. Yeah,
I reckon too.
I'm trying to give myself a little bit of a wiggle room, right? But I'm saying this because then I'm telling you, every person who's more blown away by my Duo, it's never an Android person. It's always an iOS person going, I didn't know they made it such a thing. And when they make it real, it's going to be awesome. And I'm telling you, in the United States, I'm telling you, the race is over. It's iOS.
Yeah.
Because LG's
now,
gone,
hold on.
HTC's gone, Google is fighting for second place. They're not fighting to beat Samsung. They're fighting for second. And they're throwing all this money at it.
Maybe there's a quarter mile race like in Fast and Furious where it's Android and Apple, and Dominic Toretto just hits that last hit of Nas and Android and just takes it for the win. We don't know.
And I don't know.
That's a horrible reference. I'm sorry.
And I knew you were going to bring this up. God damn it, Darren, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, it was HTC.
Well, speaking of HTC, so basically,
HTC.
It looks like HTC. H. All right, so basically, it looks like
23.
They may be returning.
They're not. They never left. Making crap phones.
That's not HTC.
That's not HTC.
Well,
that's not
HTC.
Well, first of all, it's Sense is gone, right? So the main OS is gone, right? So the whole reason that made HTC a thing was Sense and Senso, UI.
Yeah.
That's gone.
The flip.
This is essentially just an AOSP ROM, and it's this isn't the HTC that you and I and everybody here in this chat loves. This is not.
No.
It's
Isn't
that
it just
brand.
the same as what we were just on about the Mr. Mobile thing with Nokia not being Nokia?
What it is.
It's not. It's like BlackBerry not being BlackBerry anymore.
But hold on, didn't HTC release like a blockchain phone a few years back?
Yeah, the Exodus actually.
Did HTC go? Are they done then? So
yeah,
someone buy them out?
It was essentially it was the HTC U12 Plus that basically had some blockchain on it.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yep, that's all it was.
So,
Snapdragon 7 Gen. That's supposed to be a pretty good chipset, but still not worth it.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing though: it's like, this isn't going to be sold in any carrier store. It's not going to be available domestically in the United States. Maybe in European Union or UK, maybe. Again.
Yeah, the UK, they're pretty
Nobody bought the HTC when it was popular. Who's buying this now?
I'm just kidding.
You're right. Let it go,
think about it. Sam, I'm with you. You're a company who's your logo has been bought out like Kodak, and you want to make a product that you're going to topple $1 trillion company. Who the hell in their right mind in the marketing team says, hey, let's make another HTC phone and see if we can beat Apple? You're not going to make any money off this phone.
It's still a thing in near Asia and Taiwan because HTC.
That's true. I'm small-minded here. I'm sorry.
They do sell. They do have they had other U20. There was they did.
Yeah.
Continue. But I'm telling you, folks, nothing phone's not going to sell in the U.S. I don't give a shit how fucking cool it is, how many lights it has, if it cooks your steaks. It doesn't matter. They're not selling it. It's just not happening.
Cook steak.
Damn.
That's
Samsung.
Damn.
Dan, I want to tell you something.
Go on. You got it.
And it's a 1.4, it's a 5.4, and you shit all over it. I'm like, damn it. I got the phone, and I was like, I watched Dan's videos. I'm like,
sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
Shit. That's okay. I like it so far. I've had it for about a day.
It's still a good phone. It's still a good phone.
I like it so far. But I'm just saying is HTC, LG, nothing. Essential phone. Did we not do this already with the Essential phone?
I love the Essential phone. I had the Essential.
It was awesome.
It was
awesome.
It was supported for like 10 years.
And it's going nowhere. Folks,
I know.
Can we just, in the United States, and maybe in the UK, maybe in the Middle East, maybe in India, maybe in Taiwan,
the UK,
right? Maybe you have traction at the Android space, but in the US and Canada, it's over. Can we just let it go?
Android-wise, it's Samsung for sure in the US, but and maybe Sony a little bit, but like Honor's not even that so much, but like Oppo, those companies, OnePlus, they're if they bring us to the U.S., would they make a big splash? Probably not, because no one knows who they are. But they are what they. This Honor phone, I've had it now for a week or two, a week and a half. I love this phone. There's a few small pestering things I'm not a huge fan of, but I put an AT&T SIM in it. I've had 5G, T-Mobile SIM, 5G. It doesn't. I don't see a Wi-Fi calling thing, but I don't give a crap. It seems who calls people on the phone anymore. The cameras are fantastic. I've had small snippets of bad camera use, but I'm telling you, if people would open up a little bit, but once you're sucked in, I don't care if you're a Samsung fan, a Google fan, or an Apple fan. Once you're sucked into the ecosystem, it's hard to get somebody out. It's like politics. Yeah. Once you're sold on one side, you're not leaving. It's like it's just how it is. But it's still good for me as a tech enthusiast. I mean, I don't laugh. Do not laugh. I bought this piece right. I can't even stop laughing.
Even see you on video for some reason.
Is that the Unihertz one?
Okay, Unihertz. Okay. Now I've had a few Unihertz phones. This thing is their Luna. It's a ripoff of the
nothing phone.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you want to see something really funny? I mean,
I can't. Your screen's blank, bro.
Yeah, but if you watch it on YouTube, you can see him.
Yeah.
My screen went blank.
Yeah, I can't see. No. We see. I can't see him. Oh, it's okay.
I can see.
No, I can't either. But on YouTube, you are there.
Weird.
That's weird.
Either way,
it's okay. Show us anyway, mate. It's all good.
I can see it.
No, so basically, it's got like what pissed people off. This phone was, Unihertz is known for their Kickstarter, Indiegogo to get their phones, and they're budget phones. It's a $300 phone. It ain't nothing spectacular. But can you see me now?
Yeah, I can. I'm just actually watching you on YouTube on my.
Okay.
phone.
Do you see? Now you see this outside ring right here? It's kind of lighting up. So when you pre-ordered this phone, it's black and white. This outside ring, only on the white one, did not light up, just like the black one. They released the phone to all their Kickstarter people, then said, hey, we have an update. We're going to put some like foil or some kind of reflective material in there so it kind of goes all the way around. And people were pissed. They're like, wait, I want that now, but it's only for the white version. Now, with that being said, the rest of the phone, this thing is like 50 pounds. It is a tank.
It looks. Can you do side on there?
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
This is the Honor. Now they both have cases on them, but this thing is
an iPhone.
It weighs more than an iPhone, and it's got 2 buttons on one side and 2 buttons on the other side. These are function keys, and I still can't figure out what the hell they actually do.
Oh boy!
It's got a huge
chin. If you click one of them,
it's got a huge chin.
Oh wow!
Now, again, this is a budget phone, and it works good. It's got a MediaTek something. It's got Android 12. It's stuck on December 2022 security update. No updates since I've had it.
Of course it is.
108 megapixel camera, though.
No, wow. It's got a MediaTek something. No, forget about it. It's got a MediaTek something.
Here's the only thing I'm impressed about it, and I don't know if you won't be able to see this probably. It's actually got an infrared night vision camera on it.
I saw your post. I was wondering about that.
That's the only thing that's kind of cool is like if you're walking around your house and you're trying to be sneaky, you could actually use that thing to see in the dark, and it's actually not bad. It's 20 megapixel camera.
And you're going to be revealed.
What?
I'm gonna post
I don't know what's happening up in
it's going to light up
house.
while you're in the dark.
I don't need to be sneaking around my own crib, yo.
No, now hold on. So that's an infrared. That's like your night vision security camera. Now it's just a picture of a filing cabinet and an easel, but I just thought it was interesting. I mean, do people need it? No. Unihertz is known for filling a niche. They have the super small GLE phones and the one that has like a smartwatch on the back. It's nothing. It's $299. I think it was like $250 if you have a discount code or something. It's a budget phone. It works for what it's a fantastic device for the price. You're not going to get stellar pictures or video. I'm telling you, the biggest problem is if you're a thug and you like to have your pants hanging down, you put it in your pocket, your pants are going to fall all the way down. I'm just saying. They're going to pull your pants down. It's too heavy.
Look. Go ahead, sorry, go ahead, Sam. Go ahead. No,
sorry. I need to stop talking.
Listen,
don't even touch that.
I was just going to make a joke about how Tuna actually wanted a blacklight camera, but he got an infrared. But it's okay. We'll move past. We'll keep going.
And I love Tuna to death. So I say this all
oh, here we go.
The chances of Oppo, Realme, Honor, Xiaomi, Vivo, any of those brands coming to the United States is 0.
Oh, it's 0.
It's 0. If it could be a negative amount, it would be that. It's 0.
But let me tell you one thing, Sam. I've imported phones from the UK, and obviously like this one, and they've never worked quite perfectly. They had Google. This phone has been the best global phone I've had in a while. Xiaomi phones do not work on AT&T. If you put my AT&T SIM in any Xiaomi phone, they're gonna blacklist my account. I have to call AT&T to get my service reinstated.
Right.
So I put my Tello, which is T-Mobile, in there first, and then I put a Red Pocket, which is AT&T, in there. No issues at all. Everything works. I plug it in my phone or my car. Android Auto works fine. But you're right, Sam. Yeah. It's never going to come to you.
And this is why I say it. This is the same thing we're running into the Microsoft Surface Duo and Duo 2, right? It has nothing to do with capability, the phone being awesome, or anything else. It has to do with who is going to buy it. And in the United States, nobody is buying a OnePlus, a Xiaomi, a Realme, a Vivo. First of all, they're Chinese. And we all know that narrative, right? And that narrative, Huawei is the death knell. When Huawei got banned in the United States, once people realize that those are all Chinese brands, they're going to step away from it. Besides, look at the trends in the last 5 years of iOS engagement in mobile space to the U.S. market for users. And here's the thing. Everybody from the age of 14 to 28 or 30 is the new consumer. And what do they overwhelmingly have in their pocket?
iPhone.
And that's it.
Yeah.
It's game
BlackBerry.
over for any.
Sorry.
Right. Or they have Unihertz Jelly, right? It's a shame.
Unihertz Luna. Come on.
And trust me, I'm not saying this because I'm excited about it. I'm actually very upset about it and very pragmatist. I realize that this is just the way it is, and just realize that it's one other OEM is going to fall and fall and fall. And Google's going to throw a bunch of money behind this fold, and they're not going to sell any of them, and that's just the way it's going to be. And
look at Android. Look at Apple. Apple is the only person that develops Apple products with their iOS or whatever, Mac OS.
They have total control. Apple has won the tech space.
Google should be in this. Google should be in the same seat as Apple, but they're not. It's going to be Samsung, Google left. That's going to be it. Right. I hate to say that, at least in this market in the U.S.
And so I love that Honor. I'd love to try that out. And like I said, I bought a Samsung. I mean, I bought I bought my Sony, and I'm telling you, it has 0% market share.
I missed that. Which Sony did you buy? I must have
the 5.4.
Ooh,
I'm telling you, man. Sony's headphone jack.
Very nice.
Yeah, I just took mine back.
Hey, you know what?
It's nice.
That Luna,
nice phone,
headphone jack, and an IR blaster.
Right. Wow. And a MediaTek something or another. It's a MediaTek some shit.
Yeah. I hate IR blasters. I don't use them. I think it's dumb. Like I have one TV that doesn't even have an IR port on it. It doesn't even work on the IR.
Okay.
But yeah.
So Dan, I just want to have a quick just to jump in. I know you were talking a bit about the MediaTek processor because you have the N2 Flip, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Now, so I actually repurchased mine. I bought another one, and I'll tell you why. So I had
black one.
I'll give you $5. $5. No, so I had the S23 Ultra, which and I had the 5
No, so I had the S23 Ultra, which you know, and I I love the S23 Ultra. I think it is probably the greatest Android phone out there, but that fucking thing does not fit in my fucking pocket. And every time I sit in my fucking car, it falls out of my pocket. And every time I go to put it in my car mount, it fucking falls out of the car mount. I got fucking sick of it. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I need something that can close up and fit in my pocket. And actually, when I go to work, not look like I have a fucking massive fucking piece of junk hanging off to the side, right?
What's the problem?
Sorry.
What's
the problem?
No problem.
No problem. I'm just saying.
False advertising. I'm sorry.
Well, it's not false advertising because when you've already got one and then you have another one.
Oh, it's weird. Two of them.
Nice.
Whoa.
Right, so
pause, my friend.
Wow. But what I was going to ask you, Dan, is someone made a comment on Twitter about the MediaTek processor. Now, what's been your experience? Because I actually think it's very very
Really?
I think it's the Dimensity 9000. I think
Plus.
it is.
Yeah, I had the Oppo Reno 8 Pro as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
A while back, and that was a 8100 Max or something like that. That was great as well. Like, I've had absolutely no issue. The only thing I find is that when it comes to like games and things, you don't tend to have sort of like higher refresh rates supported a lot of the time. Compared to like
Isn't that more of a GPU thing though? Like isn't it use the Mali GPU in that? I think like the Oppo Flip you have has a better GPU. I thought.
I kind of think that the GPU is perfectly capable. It's just that they don't tend to support it sometimes in games. It's just one of those, like when you have an Exynos, like some games just don't run very well.
They don't work properly.
So when an Android phone has 40 hertz and no one even supports that refresh rate, it's great.
I will tell you, I have one.
But otherwise, I mean, generally, and
it's pretty slick for usage. It's pretty slick
for the Motorola. Yeah, I was wondering about that actually.
Yeah.
I
mean, not for games, not a game, but it's for navigating the UI, which is what you're going to be doing 97% of the time.
Right.
That 144 hertz is pretty slick, considering.
Yeah.
Well, I know with the MediaTek chip, I don't play a lot of mobile games. Like, it's mostly just for phone,
Pokemon Go,
social media. But for everyday use, you know, like compared to the Pixel 7 Pro and the
it's much
Ultra,
faster than that.
No. I'll just say this: like, I would say it's somewhere between the Tensor and the Snapdragon Gen 2. I think that's what I would argue.
Yeah. The OnePlus Pad uses the same chipset.
The radios are pretty good.
The OnePlus Pad uses the MediaTek 9000 Plus as well. Yes. And I saw one review saying, "Oh, it's terrible for gaming." One said it's great. The 9000 Plus sits about the Gen 1. They say, but Gen 1 Plus. That's going to be perfectly capable of playing most games.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to be playing.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think the MediaTek's come a long way in that 9000 series, and whatever comes in the future. I think Snapdragon needs a little pressure on them. I think that's why the Gen 2 is so good, because everyone's going their own way now, so they need to have that little pressure. Competition definitely helps, for sure. I agree.
Well, we'll see how things go with Tensor, with the rumored move to TSMC.
Is it 4? Yes. Is it 4
and
nanometers?
A fully designed by Google SoC, and that's when things will get very interesting.
So, how many graveyards is that going to go into? Just kidding.
Ouch.
Well, here, think about it. Did you hear what you just said? It's a 4 nanometer process.
It's 4, isn't it?
That's crazy. Considering that 2 or 3 years ago we were like 7 nanometer and 6 nanometer, right? I mean, remember, all these improvements are never linear; they're always exponential. So we're moving through processors exponentially. I mean, our compute power is crazy. So I MediaTek, I'm all about it. I'm all in. If you can get
they're very good.
They're very good processors, and also
the M2 Flip is great. It really is,
and also because it allows the consumer them to make savings, and they can push that to the consumer. So that way, now you have price competitive products. So if you want to go crazy, right, you want to go for the high end, go for it. But if you want to have a competent processor that does 99.9% of what you need it to do for your daily to day operational tasks, you have that flexibility at that lower price point. And I think that's Matt. I think that.
So Dan or Darren, if you guys want to send me your flips when you're done, I would have really loved that. I'll definitely.
I'll happily swap it for the.
I still got the flippy dippy, but it's on AT&T, so I can't.
Oh, for the Honor.
I'll take that. Yeah, we'll just do a straight swap.
That thing is. I'm telling you, that phone is amazing. I've been really happy with that phone.
And just one last thing I'll just add in.
Just the face unlock. Give me that. In every phone.
Dan, just one last thing as well. What's your experience been with the camera? Because I feel personally that the Hasselblad tuning of the N2 Flip's camera is actually pretty fucking phenomenal.
It's pretty nice. The only thing I find sometimes is that I think it's a common thing with Oppo in general. They tend to sort of over brighten a little bit.
Yes, you read my mind.
If you drop the exposure just a little bit, you tend to get a really, really nice shot. It's it's really good. Yeah. Really good.
That's not what DxO says.
Listen.
Well,
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Anybody care about DxO marketing?
I know.
Seriously.
DxO.
Well, listen, guys. I'm sure we're gonna have a lot to talk about next week because we're at Google I/O this week, and as always, we should have a bit more confirmed information coming up. But anyway,
already confirmed.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, another Xperia on the way as well. So
it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one.
I think Sony's poised to retake their market share. No, I'm just kidding. They're never going to fucking get anything. But
they're not trying.
Maybe they might steal some thunder away from Samsung and maybe even Google. But we'll see what happens. But look, Tuna, thank you very much. Sam, Dan, you guys are amazing. Thank you very much for joining us on the TNT podcast. I know you're all these fucking gifs every time. Thanks very much, guys, for tuning in to the TNT podcast. Always a pleasure, and we will catch you this time next week. Thanks very much, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks.